Hello and welcome to our podcast Lift Me Up. My name is Valerie.
And my name is Borut.
Today we just returned back from Canada and it was a long trip, long journey. We flew from Toronto to Warsaw and then finally Slovenia, Ljubljana.
Yeah, and we are totally jet-lagged, and that's why we have some light. At the moment this is evening, but in Toronto is what now? It's 7 o'clock or something.
Yeah, it's in the middle of the day, I guess.
So
So we
there's-
are still adjusting. We didn't sleep a lot, of course.
So that's 3 a.m. there. No, 19 plus 2 a.m.
It's 2 a.m. in Toronto, but
Yeah.
in Slovenia it's already 9 p.m.
Jay and Anu from Toronto. Toronto.
Yeah.
Hello, good night.
We met a lot of interesting people on our journey through Canada. Maybe in the last 2 episodes you could listen more about, like what we were doing in Canada. Borut had a few photographic workshops. I had a few scientific conferences. And finally we're back so we can share the knowledge, what we learned there. And please listen to our previous podcast if you want to learn more what we were doing there. But today we will talk about an interesting topic, which we discussed 2 days ago on the dinner with a friend in Toronto, that maybe some of you are already following that trend, some of you maybe don't even think about it, but we were talking about on the way back what we noticed about some like young generations, upcoming generations, how they are hanging out, like what's the latest trend
Yeah,
in the life.
we hear a lot about phone addictions and other addictions and like body obsessions and so on, which is totally justified. But it's also true that a new generation, the fitness is like kind of like their pop.
I mean, the gym, yeah.
Yeah, the fitness or gym or fitness or whatever. It's like, and they're like lots of them. They have this this discipline and this passion to go there a couple of times a week.
Yeah, like we were really impressed how many of the tall buildings, like in Slovenia, we still have like smaller houses. We don't live in like complex, with tall complexes. So we're not used to these little tiny micro cities in one building. So you have like a pool and a gym and everything.
Yeah.
But we really appreciated the fact that in like these tall buildings, you can get a gym, a pool. And we were surprised that it was always packed, even during the, like at 4 a.m. when Borut was doing his project, photo project, 5 a.m. Maybe you can just tell a few words about it.
One of my projects that I'm doing for 26 years now, it's called 5 a.m., meaning like I'm getting up at around 4 o'clock and photographing what is going on in this part of that part of the world where I am at that moment. And so it's around 5 o'clock. And like a few days ago, I went out on the streets of Toronto and I've seen like 4:20, there was like one lady already exercising in fitness. And I said, wow, that's something.
Yeah, like the gyms are always full. So we realized that, I don't know, we noticed that the trends are shifting, at least in like major capitals. We figured that, I guess, there's a new trend that people are not just like drinking on the streets, although we have to mention a few things we already touched a little bit in the previous episode about the drug addiction.
Yeah, I mean, going to this mega metropolis of the world of like Toronto, where there are millions of people, or Vancouver or wherever, we've seen something that we don't see in Europe, at least not in this stage, not in Amsterdam, not in Paris. I haven't seen that anywhere. It's like this, just like a whole street.
Areas, yeah, whole
like
areas.
Whole street, whole block, like,
people on drugs.
People on drugs, like publicly shooting,
But heavy drugs, we have to mention. Yeah, heavy drugs.
Like fentanyl and this, I don't know what they're using.
Zombie people.
Yeah, we were just wondering if you, and the small local, I mean, so anyway, this is something that is very, very shocking, because this is also what we've noticed, is like the gap between ultra rich and middle class is like, it's just really wide and really deep. And I'm not so optimistic about our near future, but I'm very optimistic for our far future. But that's not the topic. The topic is longevity.
Longevity.
Because this is also a very core value that we both share. And in this podcast, we will talk about our periods of life where we were going more on the shady side, and periods of lives that we are here where we are, and what brought us here. So Valerie, we met like like more than 10 years ago or 15 years ago, but that's not the point. This period that we are together, so like a few years ago, when I've told you that I don't drink alcohol, you were kind of like shocked, like, oh my God, is that true, you know?
Yeah, I didn't believe it.
You didn't believe it. You thought that I'm actually trying to impress you in some.
Yeah, I don't know who mentioned first. Maybe I mentioned that I don't drink alcohol, and then when you said
No,
that,
I said first.
Yeah,
I
really?
said
Okay.
I don't drink alcohol, just that you know. Because that's
okay.
like kind of like a deal breaker for lots of people, like
Yeah.
regardless of the sex.
Yeah, so I was maybe thinking that you're just trying to impress me with something. But then when I shared also my point of view that I also don't drink alcohol, I don't need alcohol. So it's interesting that finally I met somebody, because at least in this Eastern Europe, it's kind of a thing to drink alcohol, especially when you meet, you go party, and like alcohol is the major point of discussion. Like the first thing, yeah, what are we bringing, what kind of alcohol, and all that. So there's a lot of social pressure around that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Social pressure dealing with alcohol. I mean, alcohol is social drug till a certain point, and it's deep in our culture, is in our hymn. We have the toast, how you call it, a toast to friends. No, toast is like our Slovenian hymn. By the way, anthem, that's the word.
National anthem is about toasting to each other.
By the way,
with
it's
wine.
the only anthem in the world that speaks about friendship between two nations. It doesn't speak about heroic of battles. It doesn't speak about über superiority of one nation over the other. It talks about friendships over with its neighbors, and not devil, but a neighbor will be our
friend
border or borderline, like that.
So alcohol connecting people.
Yeah. So anyway, the alcohol is definitely has this social part of it, but it also has a dark side. We will not talk about. We will focus. Well, first of all, could you tell me a little bit about your story with alcohol?
Yeah, well, actually, I was drinking a lot of alcohol. It's not like I'm not drinking since ever. I used to be a quite heavy drinker, especially in like the party scene.
But when you
in like
teenage,
I would say like high school and post high school, that was the heaviest. Like really, really a lot of alcohol. We're talking about like passing out even.
Oh my God.
So that was heavy. Later, I mean, I found this border that I didn't pass out, but it was always just on the edge of that.
Yeah.
Also, there was some occasions with me like vomiting and stuff, so that was really bad period of my life. But later on, my friend, she was really heavy alcoholic. She was hiding it. She was drinking at work. She was like, when we had dinner with a couple of friends, we were just like maybe having a glass of wine, or even nothing, just juice in the middle of the day. And she was saying she's going down to get some more cookies in the basement. She was constantly going down to the basement to like search for some new food or something. And then one time when she was hosting again the dinner, I went there, and she had a family also. And nobody knew that she's hiding alcohol in the basement, and she's constantly going down and just drinking, And then like later her husband also said that he didn't actually notice. He figured out there's something wrong with her, but he just thought that she's maybe depressed or something. He didn't know she's a really heavy drinker. So she was hiding alcohol at work, in like wardrobes, in closets, and just drinking. And then finally she like spoke to me and another friend, and she applied to Alcoholics Anonymous to get really like professional help. And then to support her, me and the other friend, we all decided we will stop completely just to see her experience, how it is to go to a party, because we were going to some parties together, and she was constantly like saying, no, I don't want to drink, and everybody was like, you have to drink. And she was like really, she was a bit embarrassed to say, I am an alcoholic anonymous, I cannot drink. She was just saying, I'm not feeling like I would drink. And if there were 3 of us, we were like, no, we're not drinking. So it was easier for her.
Wow, that's a really great friend. You were great
Yeah.
friends. Are you still with touch? With
Yeah,
this
we
person?
still
Okay,
keep in touch, but
Very
like
good.
through the years, like, you know, we
Yeah,
went
yeah.
separate ways. She had a relapse after 2 years, I think, because I don't know, some stress happened at
Life
work.
happened,
Yeah, and she drank again, but then again she said that really
back.
she needs to cut. And she was the first person I realized that if you are addicted to something, you have to completely cut it. If you're just lowering the
Lowering down.
amount, it's just like you just
Today
continue.
is like this, tomorrow is
Yeah.
different, and day
You're
after
just
tomorrow is
continuing
worse.
the addiction. So I know how hard it is, and the social pressure, as you're mentioning, I felt it as well. Not just her, for her was even more stressful, I guess. But even now, you know, constantly when we are around and there's people like giving alcohol, it's like, come on, just wondering, just for the toast.
Yeah.
Like maybe you have some experience from that as well.
Oh yeah, I had to really. First of all, let me go back. You know, let me go when I was 10 years old. When I was 10 years old, 5 days before my 11th birthday, I burned myself with gasoline. I almost died. 3rd degree burns. 3rd degree, that means there is no more skin left. I needed like 3 plastic surgeries to just start functioning again and so on. So it was really bad. In this period, I had lots of painkillers, and they put a lots of anesthesia. Was at that time in Yugoslavia was still used ether, and ether gives you, you know, and they put like ether mask on me. I said, I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to breathe in. I'm just holding it, and then just a little bit. Okay, that's the smell of it. Just a little bit. Okay, I can still hold it, and just a little bit. And I was sipping in the ether bit by bit, and the hallucination was coming slowly, and I was like half conscious, half. And I remember, you know, I still remember the nurse asking, "Is he asleep?" That's how it sounded in my head. I said, "Oh my God, they'll start cutting me now, you know, on the." I was a child. Imagine that, like 11-year-old child. I will start cutting me on the, and I'm still conscious. You know, I have to show her that I'm conscious. I opened my eyes, so, and I could see her just like so. And she closed my eyes like this, and I could feel her, that I couldn't close my eyelids, and she was like touching my eyeballs, like it was so horrible, and so on and so on and so on. It was like such a horrible traumatic experience that this state of being under painkiller, on being intoxicated, I hated from when I was 11.
Wow.
So I never ever, you know, I was never ever tried any drug except nicotine and alcohol. I didn't even smoke pot, and I studied at the art academy where everybody was doing everything, and you can imagine what kind of pressure that is. When all your friends are around and they are smoking or drinking, whatever, and you're not, and you're a bad conscience of them. You know, because people, when you have like a group of drinking, there's one guy who is like an excessive drinker. He's like really going over the top, like and the others are following him, but not as quiet. So that's kind of like a ritual of a herd, you know. They're still feeling that, you know, there's a stage going down, you know, there's stage worse, that he's worse or she's worse than me. So, you know, I'm not such a problem. So imagine there is one guy who's always sober, and you know,
it's like a bad conscience in one
yeah,
person.
and also it's like a different energy and so on. So it was like social pressure is huge. So I really understand people who are give in to that social pressure of, you know, you have to drink, because, you know, otherwise you're, you know,
Outcast, yeah.
you're black sheep of the crowd, you know. So I want, yeah. So this is something, and you know, talking about alcohol, I first I got drunk when I was maybe 19 or 20. really late. And when I say drunk, I drank 2 beers.
Yeah, of course. At the beginning, also one beer is enough.
And also, like, you know, and I think like once in my life, I had really bad hangover once in my life, and at that time I had to write an article for a magazine. I remember it was the first time I was really hangover, and after that I didn't like I didn't. And then, you know, and then like I don't know, maybe 10 years ago or something like that, I just realized, you know what? I'm grown up.
It's over.
I don't have to give in. I don't want to drink, you know. I don't want to. I mean,
You can make your own
even
decision.
Radler, you know, Radler
like
is like
beer
half
with
beer,
juice.
half
I think
half.
it's spritzer. No,
No,
Salter. There is something in
well,
US. Yeah,
in Europe, everybody knows Radler.
yeah,
It's like
common.
German.
Like
Anyway,
German
it's like half beer, half
2% beer. It's 2%
let's say
alcohol.
half beer, half orange, something, whatever. Like it's like 2% alcohol. Beer has 4%, wine has 12, up to 12.
Yeah,
And above that is
2%.
liquor. Yeah. So anyway, so very weird. I didn't want. I mean, I love the drink, but I didn't want like this 2% made me lame, made me a little
Yeah,
bit
you get
hazy,
intoxicated.
lazy. I became lazy. You know, basically that was the point. And but I'm really happy that now there's so much great offer of non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah, and not just beer. Like we were having this dinner 2 days ago. Our friend Jay, he bought like non-alcoholic Aperol Spritz, no spritz, or I don't know how it's called. But I was amazed that this exists, and I saw there like non-alcoholic wines as well. It's like amazing, like a non-alcoholic gin. It's Slovenian produced non-alcoholic gin,
Oh, wow.
like gin tonic you can have or mojito or
Yeah,
whatever. All these
yeah.
drinks. I mean, you can get the taste,
Yeah.
but you don't have to get drunk.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Maybe I can just share, like when you ask me about how my experience was in the past, I'm really thankful to one friend of mine who, like I remember one party when I was completely drunk and I was just doing alcohol, no other drugs. But I really wanted to have ecstasy. I really wanted to get to the next level because, you know, I was going to parties. And I remember this friend who, like one time when I was really decisive that I will take ecstasy that night, and he just grabbed me and he was like, please never take ecstasy. You have to promise to me anything. You can get drunk as much as possible, but please never take it, because he was taking it and he was then later going to bigger drugs. But he was already in this loop, and somehow he was already in the rabbit hole. And then we were really good friends, and he was really just, I remember he was so.
That's a good story.
I still remember his eyes, and he was drunk and maybe even on drugs. He was like, no, this is just one door you will open, and really maybe you will not be able to return, because he actually knew me, because I also, when I was drinking heavily, you know.
Heavily.
If I would take ecstasy, I would just take 10 ecstasies, I'm sure.
Well, I in my case, I mentioned one reason why I never tried any drugs, and the second reason is I know how passionate I am. I know if I love something, I am dedicating my life to it, you know. Like if I love somebody, I'm dedicating my life to it, you know. And also like activities, like, you know, I got, as a child, I got obsessed with making boomerangs. Then I got obsessed with photography. I mentioned my 5 a.m. project. I'm doing it for 26 years already, you know. And I'm keep doing it. Like something is like, for me, is kind of like persistence is my superpower, you know. Do you have any superpowers?
Well, I would say there is a few.
There are a few superpowers, no doubt about that. We all know that,
non-alcohol
right?
related. But maybe, yeah, about superpowers. I mean, even this, to be strong when there's a social pressure, I think that is a superpower in a way, because we are social creatures, and we follow the group dynamic is always. Also, they say, I was recently reading some studies about how, like, the general IQ of the group, somehow normalizes and it gets really low because of everybody's different IQ, and then it's like the group dynamic IQ is really, really low. So the bigger the group gets, the lower the IQ. But okay,
welcome to social networks.
yeah,
and Facebook debates.
that's another debate, maybe for another time. But because of that, I guess all the IQ of everyone like lowers because we make collective decisions. And when you are in this group pressure, and I don't know why exactly, is it just for expectation, or is it also on a hormonal level? You know, people are looking at you, will you take the drink? And you're like, no, in your head, but then you say yes because everybody's standing with the glass.
Yeah.
But if you are strong enough to really politely decline, you don't have to be like a bitch and say, no, what the fuck. But like, no, I'm not drinking, and that's fine. You don't have to explain more. That's fine. And even when people are like pushing against it, I'm used to that also with sweets and candy and stuff like that, because that's something I quit in the past years. I realized that I don't have to like explain to them. I don't have to apologize for myself. So just these decisions are really important. And maybe, Borut, I would like to ask you if, like, because you're not drinking for many years as well, did you notice some differences between you and some people from your generation? Because you are, after all, 50 plus.
Yeah.
Because
I'm close to 50. I'm 51.
Yeah, I mean, after 50, people say things start to get important.
Yeah.
Like sleep and stuff.
I will tell you one thing. Like, this is something that is very, very deep in my deep seated in my decision. Talking about alcohol, is I went to Prague with 3 of my friends, and none of them are alive anymore. That we had the same generation. They all died. 2 of them are in a club 27, so they died at they commit suicide at 27 years old. And the third guy, his heart gave in at 40, 41, 42. So anyway, that's the point. Like, when you're 20 or 25 or even 20, 20, between 18 and 25, it really doesn't matter what kind of lifestyle you have. You don't see the consequences. You don't pay the bill. That's the point. Like, if somebody's partying all day, the other one is not, or even partying is okay. I love party too.
Yeah, let's party sober. It's
but you can do it sober,
Of course, let's have fun.
I by the way, just like recently, like a few years ago, with Alan, we had like a party, and I was really dancing my ass off. One person came and said, "You know what? I can see you're not drinking, but what did you take? So what do you mean? Like, what did you take? I mean, you mean drugs? There's nothing, I'm just enjoying myself,
So last time at Alan's party, again, we were singing karaoke and stuff, but we were like maybe the only one sober at that party. It's fine.
I'm glad that Alan doesn't hear that, doesn't listen to our podcast.
Maybe he does. We'll see.
Anyway, so the point I'm trying to say is, I created myself a filter. So if you're up to 20, like 18, 20 or something like that, 25.
25, yeah.
You can apply this filter, I said to myself, because I was constantly bombarded with the argument, oh, if you would do this, you would be so much better. If you would do this, what I do, you would do that and that. You would be like so much more, horizons would be open. You would be more creative. You would be, you would have so much more perspective on the things. Your world will open up and so on. And I always said to myself, okay, I'm going to wait half a year without taking this. I'm going just to evaluate your point of view for half a year. I just want to see if you're going to be better in half a year than I will. I just want to compare, it's kind of like very scientific point of view. Like, let's just compare non-taking and taking, let's see where you're going to be in half a year. And I never ever received any, I have never ever seen anybody who would be actually, because of the drug or alcohol or anything else, would become better maybe in the short term, maybe in being more brave in a party, but
in
not
interaction,
in the long term.
in networking place. I think like alcohol can boost your like confidence, or drugs like they make you awake more, but definitely in long term it's building up, it's piling up all this, like not sleeping enough. You need some detox time, the drugs go out of your system, so all that after a few years and after 50, I guess
it really shows up.
It shows up.
And also after 50 you have like another, or after 40 you have another group of pressure, like social pressure, is to eat unhealthy. We know what unhealthy food is, but like certain people around our family, also my father was like that, is always bringing some stupid statistics about what kind of food should I eat, and he's like, and I always said, if you're so smart, why are you the least unhealthy around this table, And it's always the person who is the least unhealthy is preaching about health.
The least healthy, I mean, yeah.
The least healthy is always preaching about what you have to eat and what kind of diet you have to do. You have to eat this, you have to eat that, or you have to, drink or whatever,
Yeah, and it shows on your health, like on the pressure, on fitness level, like how much can you run, sleep.
Oh my goodness, sleep is a big one. The sleep is a big one. And by the way, alcohol is really well connected with a symbol of being a man, manliness. You have to drink. He drank like 20 beers. Oh my God! Or
such a man,
such a manly thing. I never understood. Even now, I don't understand why is this manly. Why is this?
I also wonder because I remember like my first boyfriend. He got drunk like on the day we like decided we will be intimate for the first time, but then he couldn't perform because he was so drunk.
Yeah, exactly. And
it was just so soft.
that definitely takes toll. And also later, you get like, if you hit diabetes, which is, popular sport in society, if you get diabetes, say goodbye to erection. That's like your first hostage that will be executed in your life habits. The first victim of your life habits will be your erection, and this is really, really bad. So to conclude this podcast, I would say this. Like, if I would look myself back, what I've done correctly is observe people. People are full of talks. They're talking all over, and they're really persuasive. And when I say people, I mean like people, like a lot of people. And the herd movement is strong. So observe, be attentive. Don't believe everything you see. Ask and observe,
and read some scientific studies on like alcohol is.
That's right.
Like often you can hear that drink this for your health, but it's like no.
So stupid. Like it contains antioxidant. Yeah, sure.
If you drink like 100 liters of alcohol,
1 liter of wine will give you the same amount of antioxidants than like 1 cup of tea, green tea, and plus it will make inflammation going crazy. You're gonna sleep whole day and so on. So basically, it's like zero health benefits from drinking wine or alcohol.
Yeah, I would say if you drink alcohol, just enjoy it, drink it. Like, of course, not excessively, but just enjoy it as alcohol, as something which is like a pleasure, guilty pleasure, not for health.
That's
definitely
right.
not for
Don't
health.
Believe the bullshit of the health benefits.
Yeah, but you can, of course, enjoy. Just keep it in limits.
You can enjoy. We are not preaching. We're just saying, be attentive. Check the medical data from 10 years ago, not like 50 years ago. Okay, in 50 years ago, also smoking was was considered healthy. Now it's different, and also the same story for the alcohol.
Yeah, so definitely we feel a little bit jet lagged, a little bit drunk from life itself today. It's gonna be a busy week next week, and we are really excited that tomorrow we are finally going to our cabin. We will finally go in the woods.
Yeah.
So we will not be in concrete anymore, because in the last 3 weeks we were in Canadian metropolis, these huge cities. It was amazing, like all the people we met. We didn't share a glass with them, but we shared a lot of
glass, but
yeah,
not alcohol.
with like good tea. There was many amazing coffees. I love coffee. Borut loves tea, so that's something that we like have different. You know, we don't enjoy same things, but of course, the most important thing is to be in the moment together, to talk, to meet in person. This is also maybe important that for me it was extremely crucial that I met all those people in person in Canada, because through video calls I made connections already, but it's not the same. So let's keep being people, let's keep being human, support each other, lift each other up, and maybe not to be too, you know, absent with those alcohol and drugs.
Jay, our friend from Toronto, he's what's the word? He's dealing with he's like in medical, like a doctor or something like that. He's dealing with anesthetics. Was it?
I don't know in English.
Well, anyway, to put a
He
person
puts you down before operation.
under anesthetic before operation. So, and there was like a very. I said, you know, I heard this. Aesthetics means that you are awake, that you're, you know, the beauty, aesthetic of a picture or whatever, means that your senses are alert, you're watching, you're alert, you're present. And the opposite of that is anesthetic. And why people are drinking is to get anesthetized.
To get numb.
To get numb. Because, you know, we have this amazing brain in our head that has this amazing capability of abstract thinking. And we were brought from day one. Even a baby is being, you know, his cradle starts to be learning a language. What is a language? It's like an abstract world. If I say apple, you know what I mean. If I say jabłko, you know what I mean. So, and then, but we never learned how to switch off this head, this voice in our head, and that's where the alcohol comes in. People don't know how to control this voice in their head, and life is very tough. And this our abstract thinking. Imagine like well, this abstract thinking is happening in a neuro center size of a bean. So imagine that this bean is kind of like a muscle, like most powerful muscle, and then the depression and everything else is like and you know, the awkward situation in our life that are making us tense. These are cramps, and nobody taught us how to release this cramp, how to release this voice in our head. And that's why we use the alcohol and other drugs to shut down this voice. So this is what I came, you know, that this is like, if I want to take head to head the bull of the addictions, I have to grab it by the horn and understand the why is it there and why is it working. And this is something that really helped me to understand, you know what, it's just a voice in their head, and let's not take it seriously. Just I didn't take seriously a lot of, you know, people who were advising me to do this or that in my life. So, and if I want to just final thought is this. When you finish with Toronto, I talked with my daughter, my oldest daughter, today, and I told her, you know, I've learned so much from Valerie, is like how she's communicating in person, you know, like you're an amazing communicator and everything, but after we say goodbye, after the meeting is over, you know, like next day you're on the computer writing like a letter of thank you for meeting, follow-up email. This is something that I've seen you doing that and said, this is my career mistake number one. I haven't done that. And probably I'm still not doing it enough. So thank you for that. I've learned something, and this is something that I want to do more in the future. So remind me if I'll miss. Good. And so, are you ready to say goodbye?
Yes.
Okay.
Sem že zaključila, čak zamora.
Sve okay.
Jaz sem prej že zaključila, da tam en kaj ne zdi še rečem.
It's just a feedback na to, kar sem jaz rekel. That's a great final thoughts, Borut, and let's continue. Thank you for sharing this with me and with us. And
okay, Borut, thank you for sharing this with us. It's important to learn something new every week. So also in the next week, we will be probably in our studio again, on the table when we first started this podcast.
Sure.
So lift each other up.
Yep.
And please subscribe and follow us on social media.
Bye.